Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Clutch Talk podcast /YouTube/We Do It All. As always, I'm your host, John. Very happy to be here. My dog, Trent. What's going on, my boy?
What's going on, man? Listen, just got out of work. It's podcast time. This episode about to go crazy. Y'all really gonna enjoy it, man. Shout out to John because he made the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? But this is gonna be fun. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, turn on the post notifications so whenever we do drop, y'all know and y'all notified. Also, we've been having a lot of content being pumped out. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all been noticing because the subscriber count has been going up. So we're going to continue to do that. And also, we're going to have some more TikTok videos today, every day. You know what I'm saying? So always check out the socials. I appreciate y'all so much. So let's get to it.
Yes, sir, man. Let's get to it. Like how Trent said, we got a jam-packed episode. And today, of course, we are going to kick it off with the news, injuries, and updates. Then we have our fun contender versus pretender segment. And then we got a fun overrated and underrated segment to end off the show with. If you on YouTube, you see my boy Trent rocking the Grizzlies shirt, man. So shout out the Grizzlies, Ja. Been doing this thing as of late. Today is January 6th, man. But if all that's out the way, let's go ahead and get into this fun episode today, man. Yes, sir. Let's go ahead and kick off our first segment for the day. News, injuries, and updates. And the way we're going to kick this one off, my boy, is not an injury, not news, I guess an update. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here for you, and you let me know if you see that. You see that right there, my boy?
I see it. Perfect, man.
You see it, man. So right here, what we're looking at is the first fan results, the first fan returns from NBA 2023 All-Star Game. Trent, I'm going to let you kick it off for us and let us know your problems with this, what you like, what's the deal? How you feeling about this?
Bro, me and John just uploaded our own All-Star prediction starters and reserves, and I was telling John this basketball voting stuff just didn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. He's going off watching this game and TV. I get it, but this is way past that now. And just looking at these right now, John, it's terrible. How is Kayvon Looney top 10 in the front court in the Western Conference? I don't care. Kayvon Looney as a player, as a person is awesome. He just hit a game winner. Is he an all-star level player? No. Kawhi Leonard has missed the whole season practically. This dude taking the NBA as a part-time job, and he's still in the top 10. The top 10. We can get past that. Andrew Wiggins, I'm kind of surprised. I'm actually really surprised about that. I think he deserves to be in it, but I'm surprised he's top 5. Now, let's go to the guards. Austin Reeves, 9. Listen, I know the Lakers are well known. The most they won the most, but Austin Reeves, imagine seeing Austin Reeves in an All-Star game, bro. He's gonna look so out of place. You got players like Giannis, LeBron, KD, Joel Jokic looking at this dude like, "What are you doing here? They invited you to the wrong spot or something?" Because there's just no freaking way at all. And then you got Nick Claxton in the front court for the Eastern Conference. Nick Claxton over Bam? Where's Bam at? Bam Adebayo should be in the top 10 easily. If you're going to have Bam, and then you got Kyle Kuzma. You got Kyle Kuzma and Claxton over Bam Adebayo. These fans need to stop voting. It's terrible. Y'all trolling, that's the problem. You can't come on here and start trolling. You can't do that because they take this serious. They're like, oh, really? Like, you stop trolling. Then, shout out to Derrick Rose. Right? He shouldn't be on this list at all. He's on DNPs. He's watching young players play. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he shouldn't be on this list. You know, maybe if it was in Chicago, if it was located in Chicago where this All-Star thing was happening, that would have been fire, especially if this was his last year. You know, we all respect and love Derrick Rose, so we could finish off and give him that All-Star vote. Top 10? That's insane. And so that's what I personally feel. But what I do see though, hey, top six going back to the West. I know y'all see Brody there. I'm kind of shocked. I'm shocked about that. I'm actually really shocked about that. Because he does get a lot of hate, and the fact that a lot of people you have because the hate he's getting from is from the fans. So the fact that the fans are voting for him that much to be in a top 10 list, pretty incredible, man. So shout out to number 0. But yeah, that's just how I personally feel. The list is kind of terrible. And LaMelo Ball, I've been saying he's the most overrated player in the league and has missed pretty much the rest of not the whole season, but he came back from his ankle injury. And how the hell is he top 7? Ha! I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of problems with this list. I mean, majority of it you talked about, but I have to harp on that Warriors point. Okay, I think Kevon Looney should not be there. Okay, but let's look past Kevon Looney. In no way, in my opinion, should the Warriors have 6 players going to the All-Star game. In this list right here, they have Stephen Curry. Okay, understandably so. Andrew Wiggins. Last year, the same way you were just talking about Austin Reeves, that's how people were looking at Andrew Wiggins. Like, dude, what are you doing? This isn't the freaking elementary school All-Star game. This is the NBA All-Star game because Andrew Wiggins shouldn't have been there last year. But all right, so Stephen Curry, that's 1. Andrew Wiggins, that's 2. Draymond Green, that's 3. Someone else that also shouldn't be there. Kevon Looney, that's 4. Shouldn't be there. Jordan freaking Poole. Don't get me wrong, Jordan Poole has been stepping up as of late, but don't tell me that you think Jordan Poole, Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, Kevon Looney, and Klay Thompson. And Klay Thompson, the man who has been the definition of mid this season. He has one game where he goes off for 37 points, and next game he goes off for 4 points. So that is the definition of mid. I'm right there with you. That's my biggest and first issue that I have with this first fan results or whatever. And then another issue that I have, which you just kind of talked about it, is just the fact that the fans have so much of a say into this. I believe the breakdown is fans account for 50% of the total votes that determines, the starters and who gets in the game. That's absolutely insane. That's absolutely absurd because fans vote dumb things like this. Okay, I'm a Lakers fan, and I'll be honest. Austin Reeves, although he's been absolutely great, he shouldn't even be anywhere near this list. He has been extremely consistent. He's been solid in his role. But even if Austin Reeves is at his absolute best, Austin Reeves could have not missed a single bucket all season so far and still not make his team. So I'm right there with you on that. Derrick Rose, I can never have hate for Derrick Rose, so I'm happy to see him there. But I definitely think that it's a little bit insane that Derrick Rose gets more votes than a player like Darius Garland, right? Darius Garland, who's helping the Cavs stay at the top of the Eastern Conference right now, currently sitting in the 4th seed, got less votes than Derrick Rose. Like how you said, the man who is getting DNPs, he's probably sitting right there talking to Coach Tom Thibodeau during the games because he not seeing no time on the court. Nicholas Claxton, another problem, another issue to me. No rookie should be in the All-Star game, in my opinion. You're just not there yet. As great as Pablo is doing, he's again on maybe the worst team in the league right now. I believe they have, they're in the sitting in the 13th seed right now at 14-25. So I don't think a player like Pablo should be there. But as far as agreements, man, I love to see Anthony Davis top 3. I love to see, like how you said, 0, the Brody in there. And let's just throw a little bit more respect on our guy Shea's name, because I know he's top 4, but maybe like how you said, Curry got it just because of the love and who he is and the name and the brand that he built up. But if you ask me, out of Luka, Curry, Shea, and Ja, man, I think Shea needs a spot above Curry for that. So these first fan votes, definitely big issue for me. But Donovan Mitchell got in there, can't complain. The GOAT's in there, can't complain. You know what I'm saying? not too much else for me.
Yeah, but looking at this list too, just to finish it off, Jimmy Butler top 5.
You let me know. You the Miami Heat network. Do you think a player like Jimmy Butler deserves it?
His name, what he has done throughout his career, yes. But this season specifically, no. He's not even 100%. He's dealing with a knee injury. When he does play, Jimmy Butler is not an aggressive player. He doesn't take jack a bunch of shots. He just does his game. Like there's some games where it's like he has like 5 shot attempts heading into the fourth quarter. Like he feeds his teammates. He gets everybody involved and then kind of does stuff after. But not this season. I do think he might make it as a reserve though. Like Jimmy Butler's Jimmy Butler. You know, when he's healthy, he's a dog. He went against your favorite player, LeBron James,
and got that smoke. And got that smoke. Boy.
And LeBron didn't get that smoke back.
LeBron won a championship.
That's fine, but did he not get that smoke back?
He gave it to. Hey, honestly, that year, I gained so much respect for Jimmy. Man, after that one time I seen him with his head down right there on that little armrest or whatever, he just was exhausted. He was trying to do it all. So I have all the respects for Jimmy. And yeah, maybe he's not a top 5, but absolutely should be in the All-Star game based on the name that he's built, man. But any final thoughts, my boys, on this first fan results?
Like I said, it's the first fan one. The first one's always the one that's funny. It's always, little weird. We'll see like later on the other fan votes and stuff like that. But right now, this list, like there's players here that definitely deserve it, but there's other players that they're just laughable.
Laughable. Number 1 is Kawhi, man. But all right, my boy. So let's go.
I don't.
That Kawhi one is a stretch, bro. That Kawhi one is a stretch,
especially top 10. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, hold on. But before we get off of it, name the most blasphemous thing on this list in your opinion.
I don't want to go basic and just say loony, so I'll probably just say Pablo.
You say Pablo? Okay.
No, Kuzma.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie.
Kuzma, bro. I don't, bro. Listen, I don't care what Kuzma has done this season. He's not making an All-Star game.
He's not.
Yeah.
He's not. And if I got to pick the number 1 blasphemy in my part, I think it's having all of these players combined. I think that's 6 total Warriors players. That's Andrew Wiggins, Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Kevon Looney, Jordan Poole. You have 6 for you. No way, man. No way. Yeah. But all right, let's go ahead and keep it pushing, my boy. And let's get to, unfortunately, some injuries that is going on around the league. We just saw Zion. He's going to be out for, I gotta put this in quotes because they keep saying at least. They keep emphasizing at least 3 weeks. So Zion Williamson is set to miss at least 3 weeks with his hamstring injury. My boy Trent, talk to me about how you think that's going to affect the Pelicans and them when Zion gets back.
To be honest with you, I don't think it's going to really affect them. They're still 24-14. They're still a top dog in the Western Conference. They dealt with Zion missing the whole season last year, pretty much practically. They went to the postseason without him, played pretty good. They fought with the Phoenix Suns. I think they're going to be perfectly fine. They know how to play with him and they know how to play without him, and that's coaching. So shout out to Willie Green. I do like to say for Zion personally, it's definitely unfortunate because whatever, he dealt with so much throughout his career. And he honestly was having a really, really good year, putting up some really good numbers. Honestly, was probably going to be a starter in the All-Star game, averaging about 26 points a game, 60% from the field, 37% from the three-point line. I know it's not much a shot attempts from the three-point line because he's not known for that, but I found that interesting today. I was talking about John about that. And 7 rebounds, 4.6 assists, and 1.1 steals. So he was having a really, really good season. He was dominating, to be honest with you. And the injuries keep holding him back, and then it sucks because he's going to come back from an injury and then he's going to go back on minute restriction. And then he's going to start missing games again. Like he wasn't dealing with that. He was just playing freely, not worrying about anything. So I honestly think the harsh reality, the harsh truth about Zion's career is that every single season he's going to be injured. He's just going to be an injury prone player. Wow. That's just the truth. He's like, I don't like comparing, like he's going to be Anthony Davis. They're very good. No, they're very good, but every single year they're going to get hurt. They're going to get hurt. And it could be, I don't like to blame injuries on yourself, but like there's accidental injuries. You get hurt by another player, or they can just be injuries by just trying to attack the rim and you fall and stuff like that. Whatnot. I think there's going to be a mixture of both. And so it's unfortunate, but hopefully Zion comes back stronger. And when he does come back, the Pelicans are still going to be a top team in the Western Conference.
Man, yeah. See, that was exactly what my next question for you was, because I mean, with Zion going down like this, now that's 2 of their top, I guess, big 3 or top 3 players down, because Brandon Ingram is still down. And I unfortunately know that because I got him on my fantasy. I've just been watching them sit there on the IL list. Zion, he's now gone down, and we know how much offense for the Pelicans gets generated simply through Zion, whether it be Zion going to get a bucket or whether it be just simply Zion mismatch, and now Zion's got to find the open defender, and then that'll get the offense kicking. But I think now for the Pelicans to be missing Brandon Ingram and Zion, that's going to be a big hit for them. So that's what I wanted to ask. Do you think by the time, because he's going to be reevaluated in 3 weeks, so he's at least going to miss 3 weeks. What if that after that's another like 2 weeks? That right there, that's almost a month in a week. You think the Pelicans? Yes, he's going to be reevaluated in 3 weeks.
I'm not worried about that. My question is the Brandon Ingram situation, because he's been out for a little bit now. He's
been out with a toe injury.
Yeah, and it's crazy. You think those toe injuries don't really affect you too much?
You use them toes, baby. You use them
toes. Bro, I hurt my toe. Nah, you really can't walk. Like, I'm like, it's just a toe injury. I'll be fine. Nah, bro. Like, the littlest parts for your body hurt you the most because it's like attached to something that you need. You know what I'm saying? So, but like I said, Western Conference is still weak. Denver Nuggets is taking over. There's plenty of teams falling down. So I still think they're going to be still relevant. I still think they're going to be a top 6 seed. And before you know, All-Star break is here. So that's going to help them out a lot. They get the rest and stuff like that. And even if Zion doesn't play an All-Star game, which I don't think he will, just the team is going to be like, we're going to need you to chill out for the later run, post season and stuff like that. They're going to be fine. They're 24-14 right now. Like, if they start falling off the cliff and lose 10 games in a row, then maybe I'll be concerned. But even if they win one, lose one, win one, like they're still going to be fine. You still got CJ McCollum. You still got players over there that just play their role, and they're dogs over there. Larry Nance is a great role player. Jose, Trey Murphy, I believe Herb Jones is back. Like, they got players over there. Devontae Graham, who no one really talks about, but he can still get. Like, I'm not too worried. And like I said, I like Willie Green. They respect him, and he's a pretty solid coach, to be honest with you.
Okay, so you're feeling okay? They'll be a top 6 seed even when by time's on. Yeah, I'm right there. Sure. I'm right there with you. They're sitting right there at the 3rd seed. That would be way too drastic of a drop off. I think Willie Green will be able to hold them up. But all right, my boy. So let's go ahead and keep it pushing. Let's get to and still another injury, but the other spectrum of the injury. Zion's going into his injury. Now Curry's coming back out from his injury. The Warriors are targeting January 13th return for Stephen Curry from his shoulder injury. So talk to me. I really had to ask this because from the rip, when I asked when this happened, you told me, I'm not worried, John. I'm not worried. And you was right. So talk to me a little bit about how, Curry coming back and what's that's going to do for the Warriors and the rest of the league.
Like John said, man, we talked about this when Curry got injured, and he's asking if I was worried. I'm like, it's going to be perfect for the role players. And what has happened? Jordan Poole's not a role player. Clay and Dre are not a role player, but they stepped up. Jordan Poole, who cares about the turnovers, to be honest with you? Like, I get turnovers, but Draymond Green said it perfectly. Those turnovers are not making them lose games. That's what Dre said. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. He turning the ball over more because he has the ball in his hands more. It's usually in Steph's hands, But you got their role players. That's what they needed. Golden State throughout the years were built off their role players. We all know they had star players, but when they won championships back in the day, remember Sean Livingston, remember Barbosa, David West, Bogut, they always relied on those players. If those players are not stepping up or having a good game, they're going to lose, most likely, because you can't win championships with just your star players. You can, but they need help. Like, they can't do it in the final series with 7 games against another talented team that their role players are stepping up. So I think this was a credible Fortis Golden State team. The fact that they stayed above 500, 20-19, just came off a 5-game losing streak, and they would have won. They would have beat the Detroit Pistons, but Sadiq Bey makes a crazy game-winning shot before Clay's game-winning shot that we thought a game-tying shot that we thought they were going to go OT and win. But hey, they just came off a good win against the Hawks. During that stretch, they beat some really, really good teams. I do not remember the top of my head. I just made a video on it, so it's hilarious. But Atlanta, Memphis, we all know Memphis, they don't really like each other. So I got to give them credit. Now adding Steph Curry is going to make this team even more powerful. And he was having a great season before he got injured. So shout out to them, man. Dante, Lamb, Looney, You know,
Facts, man. Hey, the role players stepped up and they stepped up big time. I agree with you. I wouldn't say players like Jordan Poole and Klay Thompson are role players, but they at least understood the assignment, understood that our guy, our number one player, is out right now, and we need to step up. And yeah, they've stepped up huge. Now the next step is integrating Curry back into that lineup and continuing this dominance, continuing that dominance. You don't want to see the drop off of when Curry comes back on, and then you don't want there to be a drop off. You want to see that continued dominance. You want to see Jordan Poole continue to play.
but not only that, Wiggins is coming back too. He was dealing with a flu. He's coming back too. So this team is getting full strength at the I'm gonna say perfect time because there's still plenty of games left. But I'm just saying, like they're getting full strength at a point of the season where they can just finally get it all together and then play great basketball near the end of the season. And when you play great basketball near the end of the season, heading into the postseason, that's the most perfect thing. Perfect thing. So, like I said, I never doubt the Warriors, man. There's reasons why this team's always in the NBA Finals. There's a reason why there's teams that, or just players like, not players, but like people like us used to hate watching them because it was just to a point where it's just like, just put the Golden State Warriors in the finals every single season. The season start, they're already in the finals. And no one didn't expect them to win the championship last year when the season started. Let's be honest. When that season started, no one expected them. So I never doubted them. We got to give credit to Steve Kerr, too. I think this has to be one of his best coaching jobs or coaching stretches because I feel like a lot of people don't really give him respect because he always coached great players. When you have great players, it doesn't really it really
Ty
doesn't.
Lue and Steve Kerr disrespect. They get it all the time.
Yeah. For a while, I was like, is Steve Kerr a good coach? You had Jordan, you know what I'm saying? Back in the day, Michael Jordan. Then you played with Jordan. Like, all this stuff. Then you're playing with the best point guard in NBA history. Debatable with Magic Johnson. Now it's like you're playing with one of the best shooters. You know what I'm saying? Like he always had that. He never had a Steve Clifford job where he got to coach up LaMelo and some randoms. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
This is some randoms. But like Klay Thompson has been mid all season. Somehow he turned it around. And then you got Jordan Poole. And now you're just playing with some randoms. So got to give him credit for that, man. So shout out to the Warriors fans for just, shout out to y'all, man. Y'all kept through this 6-4 in the last 10. You lost by a buzzer beater. You should really be 7-3 in the last 10.
Man, yeah, that is definitely good to see the Warriors picking it up again, and hopefully they'll be able to get to a top 6 seed and compete really here in the West. But all right, my boy, let's get to the last little sub segment here of these news updates and injuries. This is an update. This is a big update. This is a heavy update. This is a 71-point game update, my boy. On January 2nd, Donovan Mitchell scored 71 points in a victory against the Chicago Bulls, 145-134. Honestly, this was one of the craziest games I've seen in a long, long time. I had one of my homies, shout out my homie AJ. He texted me. He's like, yo, bro, are you watching this Donovan Mitchell game? And I was actually doing some stuff for Clutch Talk at the time. And I was like, no, I'm not. He's like, yo, you got to go turn that game on. I go turn the game on. And I see that he got 60 points. And I'm like, whoa, how did this happen? And I go all the way back to the beginning of the game. And Donovan Mitchell was just in attack mode the entire game. I haven't seen something like that in a long time since I wasn't alive to see that. I mean, I was alive, but I wasn't, actively watching the game when Kobe dropped those 81 points. I wasn't like analyzing the game and watching it the way I am now. I was a little child, but to get a chance to watch this game, I felt like I was getting to watch a piece of history. Because when you look up, if you look up on Google, Donovan Mitchell 71-point game, it'll say it says January 2nd, 2023, 71 points, and it has it ingrained. Unfortunately, it has a picture of him in Utah. I don't know why it has that, but has a picture of him in Utah, and it's ingrained in history. And we got a chance to watch that 71 points. He just kept taking it to him. Shout out Donovan Mitchell, man. He got to the free throw line 25 times this game. And you know what? This game right here was the definition of putting the team on your back, man. Mobley out. Darius Garland out. I believe Jared Allen was out too. It was just him and Kevin Love out there. It was him and Kevin Love doing their thing. It was him and Robin Lopez. Him and Robin Lopez went for 72 points because he went for 71 and Robin went for 1, man. So big shout out to Donovan. And I'm honestly just impressed. I haven't seen a game like this in a long, long time.
Yeah, it's incredible because, start of that game or near the end of the game, too, they were losing.
They're losing.
They were losing that game. It's crazy because how I found out, because I wasn't watching that game, I'll be honest with you guys. How I found out, I go on Twitter and it's called, I'm not going to shout them out, but I follow this Twitter page that gives us like updates and stuff like that. And it said 60 points, but usually on Twitter, people start trolling. So I was like, hold up, 60 points. So I go on, I go on Bleach Report and it literally says he has 60 points. So I was like, hold up, let me turn the game on real quick, As soon as I turn on the game, I see the free throw. He misses, gets they get the offensive rebound, puts it back. I'm like, oh, damn. But John brought it up. He was literally 20 for 25 at the free throw line. 20 for 25 at the free throw line. And you know what's crazy? You know, when you have these big scoring games, you kind of look at how well did they shoot? Was they just jacking shots up, or was it efficient? He shot 22 for 34, 22 for 34, pretty much from the field. That's pretty good, you know. And which I think is very underrated. Put 71 points up, hit 7 threes, 7 out of 15, almost hit half of his threes, right? But not only that, he almost had a triple-double, John. He had 8 rebounds and 11 assists. He had 71 points and 11 assists. So not only was he getting buckets, he was also feeding his teammates. He had like majority all the points for the team, to be honest with you. and you know what made it better? It got a W. Unlike Devin Booker, where he put up all this much points and came up with an L. And they're like, Devin Booker, all these praise. You lost. No one cares about it. We're going to talk about Mitchell because he took that dub, carried his team without his best players. You know what I'm saying? I always said, I'm not comparing, but Mitchell's 10 times better than Devin Booker, man. So shout out to Devin Mitchell, man. And it's ever since he joined Cleveland Cavaliers, we all know he was talented on Utah. We all knew that. But he's taking that next step right now. And I'm excited because this going to be a fun team for a long, long time. They're young. They're young. Mobley, Garland, and Mitchell. Woo! And don't forget Jared Allen. He looks like he's 30, but he's still very young too.
He looks like he's 30. He always be wearing the same Kyrie's every single game, Jared Allen. You got to switch it up, my boy.
He's generic. You know what it is? He's just generic. Jared Allen's the type of player who gets paid $200 million, right? He goes
Levi
home.
jeans.
Yeah, he's wearing Levi jeans with some regular fit clothes. He doesn't care, which is fine. I'm not criticizing. I think it's cool. Do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying?
He be saving a whole bunch of money. I bet he'd be going to designer. He be gone off Ross, man.
It's funny, but yeah, man. Like I said,
not
only Mitchell, bro. The whole league has been going crazy,
man, bro. What is going on right now, bro? 50-point games, 60-point games, 71. This is like absurd.
Yo, it's like, I don't know if you play 2K, John, but there's a setting that's called sliders, and you can put
sliders, or you can just make them make it every time.
I think the sliders right now, they went up a little bit. Like it was at 40% for the 3-point line and like mid range. That's going up a little bit to 60, bro. I'm telling you, it's a little bit too easy, man.
Hey, I mean, Trey, I don't really be playing video games like that, but back in the day, I used to play a whole lot of video games, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a sore loser on 2K, right? So if I'm losing and it's like it's a couple, maybe like a couple seconds left, and I see that it's gonna go bad, I pause the game, I go to the sliders. You know what I'm saying? I do steal success 100%, so I can get the ball, and then 3-point 100 success, man. So that's how it is. That's how the league's been as of late, man.
Nah, bro.
That's mad impressive. And my last question I want to ask you about that, my boy, is if you had to pick one player in the league, who do you think would have the next big, maybe not 71 points, but the next, more than 50 game? Tyler Hero. Wow, I like that. All right.
You know why? SGA too. But I put Tyler Hero because I watch a lot of Miami Heat games, and he's the main offense. Like Jimmy, he's not being Jimmy. Jimmy's not being Himmy this year because he's hurt. He's dealing with a knee injury. Tyler Hero jacks up a lot of 3-pointers, like a lot of 3-pointers. Yes, the Lakers wasn't hitting him, but the game before he was knocking. I believe he's already at like 500 threes. This season, I think he's at 100 threes. This season's at 100 threes, but like career, like 500. Like he's knocking. Like I could see him having a big game this season, at least 50 plus.
Man, that would be crazy if Tyler Hero gets a big game like that. The internet will blow up, world will blow up. But all right, my boy, I think that is a great way for us to go ahead and wrap up that news, injuries, and update segment. And time for us to get going here with our next segment of the show here, Contenders versus Pretenders. Let's get it, my boy. All right, so you know what it is. This is pretty self-explanatory. Contenders versus Pretenders. But before we get into it, before we start listing off who's a contender and pretender, I need you to define something, and I need to define something. So I'm gonna go ahead and kick it off. We need to both define what we say. This is a contender. Okay, a contender is you can legitimately have a shot to make either the Western Conference or Eastern Conference final. Because if you're not going to make it to at least the Western Conference or Eastern Conference finals, you're not even a title contender, right? Because anyone could win. Once you get to that NBA finals, anything could happen, injuries could happen, but you have to at least be a Western Conference or Eastern Conference title shot. Is that fair to you, or do you have a different definition?
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Okay, all right.
Pretender, I say you can't even get out the first round.
Okay, I like that. You can't even get out the first round. Okay, either can't get out the first round or not even a playoff team. So, all right, dope.
We don't got to explain. Just name the teams. We go from there.
Okay. Yep. It's good.
All right.
All right. You see that right there? You see all the standings?
I do see all the standings.
All right. Here we go. Let's go ahead and start it off with the Eastern Conference here. You want to go from 15-1 or 1-15?
It doesn't matter. Come on.
All right. Get it. Let's get it. 15-1. 1-15. Boston Celtics.
Contender.
Milwaukee Bucks. Brooklyn Nets.
It's contender.
Wow. All right. I got pretender on that. I'm not gonna lie. Cleveland Cavaliers.
Pretender.
Philadelphia 76ers.
Pretender.
New York Knicks.
Pretender.
Pacers.
Pretender.
Heat.
Contender.
Oh, Atlanta Hawks.
Pretender.
The Chicago Bulls.
Pretender.
The Washington Wizards.
All these teams are pretenders.
All these teams are pretenders. All right. All right. Go ahead. Talk to me.
Let me just say something real quick, right? The Brooklyn Nets was a tough one. I'm gonna be honest with you, because like you brought up a stat the other day that they're not great against good teams, but they're finally getting their groove. And I just can't. I don't ever see Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant getting swept again. I don't see it, especially in the first round. And with their role players, they got some really, really good role players. Like a lot of championship teams would love to have their role players, like a TJ Warren or Royce O'Neal, Claxton. Like, and Ben Simmons is a role player considered to me. So who wouldn't want Ben Simmons as a role player? You know what I'm saying? So that one was tough. But Miami, I'm telling you, their record looks bad. But trust and believe, this team has not played healthy all season at all. They haven't. They played probably like 5 games as a starting lineup together. Like they could be a really good team, and I watch out for Pat Riley and them for a trade. I'm telling you,
man. Look, I cannot agree. So you ultimately went with pretenders for the Nets, or you went with contenders?
No, I went to contender.
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie. I'm honestly right there with you. I have the Celtics are definitely contenders. Bucks are contenders. The Cavs are contenders. The Philadelphia 76ers are pretenders to me. The Knicks are pretenders to me. Pretenders. The Heat. Now I want to talk about this because, of course, you know we got our Heat guy in the building in you, but I'll give it to you. They're not healthy. They haven't had a healthy season fully yet, but fully healthy. I don't think this team is a top team in the East. I don't think this team is going to be able to mess with a Milwaukee Bucks in a 7-game series, a Celtics in a 7-game series, not even a Cleveland Cavaliers in a 7-game series. To be honest with you, I don't believe it. I think they're too thin. They're not big enough. And that's the same thing that I think too about the Brooklyn Nets. Because yes, the Brooklyn Nets got Kyrie and KD. And the same way that I say, I'm always stated on record, oh, as long as you have LeBron and Anthony Davis, you could go for a title championship run. It's the same thing with Kyrie and KD. I'll give him that. With that, you at least have a shot for a title, having 2 Hall of Fame players like that. But let's look at the East. Let's look at the road to get to the finals. If you're coming out the East, that means you have to at least be able to match up against Brooklyn or Brooklyn. I mean, sorry, not Brooklyn. You have to be able to match up against Milwaukee or Boston in a 7-game series. And let's be real, man. The Nets aren't ready to do that. They would get little Boyd out there. Then the Bucks are a bunch of trees. The Bucks can do a bit of everything. The Celtics, they can keep up. They not only can they keep up with the Nets on the perimeter, but they can also keep up with them inside. The Bucks, they might struggle a little bit on the perimeter against the Nets players, but the Nets have no chance. And we all know that the Bucks love to use their length, love to take it inside. Brook Lopez stretches the floor. He can be that big inside, but he can also hit a shot from the outside. And same thing when I'm talking about the Miami Heat. I don't think the Miami Heat are going to be able to compete with the length of the Bucks, with the perimeter nor the length of the Celtics. So that's why, in my opinion, as much as, man, the Brooklyn Nets, they look good. They look good. And that stat that I talked about was they're 12-2 against teams that are under 500, and they're 10-10 teams that are above 500. So you know what that tells me? That they're beating a bunch of beating a bunch of bad teams. They're beating a bunch of bad teams. And it's just, to me, I can't say it's a real contender. Philadelphia 76ers, I watched them the other day against the who did the Philadelphia I'm blanking on who they played, but James Harden was the only real star out there. Joel Embiid was not out there. They did not have a player above 6'9". They were running a starting lineup that had PJ Tucker running the big. Remember when PJ Tucker went to the Rockets and ran the big when he was in the bubble? That's the lineup they're running out there. That's going to get embarrassed by a length of a Celtics, of a Bucks, by the length of a Cavs team. That's why, in my opinion, the only three real contenders out the East are the teams that are going to be able to mess with the Celtics and the Bucks, and that's the Cavs, Celtics, and Bucks. That's what I got.
I see. The thing is, right? Miami's not worried about the Celtics. I can tell you that. We went up against the Celtics, and I understand it's regular season, but we beat the Celtics. I'm not. Miami and Celtics are a good matchup. Miami and Bucks, on the other hand, are not a good matchup. But I think we got to pump the brakes on Milwaukee lately. Okay, Milwaukee's been winning, but bro, they're 9-9 on the road. Their offense has been horrible late. Like they're off. They can't really do nothing. I literally watched them struggle against the Toronto Raptors team, who went 2-23 in the first quarter. They struggled like dramatically. This Milwaukee Bucks team is not the same team that we know where they won a championship, and the teams that the last couple of years that we known. They're not. I understand they're dealing with injuries of Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton. Those are their two best players, but they're in and out the lineup right now. And Chris Middleton being in and out the lineup is going to affect this team a lot. And their depth is not that great. I mean, Javon Carter and Bobby Portis, cool. But besides really that, I mean, Grayson Allen's a starter. Sometimes he goes like, I really don't like. They're in the East, it's easy, but we got to really pump down on this Milwaukee Bucks team. Or they're going to go through everybody and win the championship. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. They've been struggling the last couple months. I don't want to say the last couple months, but their offense isn't the greatest. If you watch their offense, John, or just watch them in general, besides Giannis, who's doing stuff? No one. That's not good.
Brook.
Drew hasn't been out there.
Brook Lopez has revived his career and again somehow just this year.
Brook Lopez is always a good center. He protects the rim, issues the rebounds, and shoot the three. That's what he does. That's Brook Lopez. But Drew, he hasn't been out there. Injuries, and that's concerning, bro. 9-9 on the road, John.
That is concerning.
That's 500. And then you got 16. You look at this. This team is 16-4 at home. You know why? Because their role players are more comfortable at home. Role players are typically more comfortable at home. On the road, they're 500. Their last 10, they're 5-5, John. The last 10, they're 5-5. And they beat the Toronto Raptors, but they blew the lead. It was like a 17, 18-point lead with like 3 minutes left. They blew it, and they went to OT with this team. So the East right now, they're lucky that there's no competition, because if there was competition, we would have to pump the brakes on Milwaukee. I'm not saying they're not a great team. I'm not saying they're not a contender. They can win it all. I really do when they're fully healthy. But they're right. Pump the brakes on them. And Brooklyn, on the other hand, I'm not going to discredit them. I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm going to give it to you. And let me just say something, right? The Miami Heat are very, very thin. They're thin, but they do got a nice hidden gem that they've been playing a little bit more, and he's looking very, very good. And I wouldn't be surprised if he cracks rotation and is the backup big in Orlando Robinson.
Bruh.
I'm telling you.
Oh my God.
Telling you.
Trent, I'm gonna tell you a story about him, okay? I'm gonna tell you a story real quick. All right, so before the season started, every year out here in Cali, they have this thing called I think it's like Summer like Hardwood Classic or California Classic or something like that. And it's basically a bunch of teams from Cali. It's a tournament that's 2 days long. It usually has the Lakers G League team, Clippers G League team, Warriors G League team and the Kings G League team. But for whatever reason, something must have happened that the Clippers G League team wasn't here. So it was the Lakers G League team, the Kings G League team, and then the Heat's G League team. And then I believe it was like the Blazers or something like that. I don't know. But basically, the Heat G League team was there. I'd never heard of Orlando Robinson. I seen him there. I'll be honest with you. I watched him play in person. I don't watch nearly as many Heat games as you do. So I'm not trying to say I know more than you. But he did not look like an NBA player. He did not look ready. He looked out of shape. He looked like he's not gonna keep up on the defensive end. But I'll say this: this was at the beginning of the season. We could have there could have been a lot of change. So you banking on Orlando Robinson right now to come up and be a big when we're talking about teams going against Brook Lopez's, Giannis's, Trees, Al Horford, Robert Williams. These are players who are, if not multiple time All-Stars, NBA champions, or have experience of being there. I'll be real with you. I don't know if I got a lot of trust in Orlando Robinson, the man who I just doubted a couple of months ago.
But that's the thing. That's the thing. So let's get this straight. Orlando Robinson is in and out two-way contracts. He gets dropped, he gets released, and stuff like that. He has improved to the point where he's still on the two-way deal. But Dwayne Dedman, their backup center, that's their backup center, has been out. Opportunity risen, came. He has been taking those minutes and has been looking like an NBA backup center. We're not acting like we're relying on Orlando Robinson because he's our starting center. Do you forget who's our center on the Miami Heat? Bam Adebayo,
a thin guy. He's not ready for a Bucks bigs. He's not
that's
ready
fine.
for
But you acting like but you're acting like Bam Adebayo is not one of the best, one of the top 5 players that play defense. He's great. And not only that, this season his offense has improved. So he can give you 30 and still lock you up. I understand he's very thin. He is thin. They're a thin team. But let's not doubt the Miami Heat. When you got Pat Riley and you got Spo in your front office, I'm not worried. I promise you I'm not worried. A trade will happen. Kayla Martin over there too, one of our best shooters, a nice, solid defender. Victor Oladipo has been looking like the old Victor Oladipo, a great defender, which he was not a great defender before in his career. He is a great defender for this team now, and his offense is now hitting. I'm telling you, his record, 2019, not that great. The fact that we're 2019 just shows how well these players can play together so far. Because when they're healthy, it's going to be totally different. I'm telling you.
I will give you this. On paper, when you look at that squad, you say, damn, how they not going to the championship every single year? Because they definitely got squad on paper. Just got to see them put it together, man. But basically, to wrap up this East, you have Celtics, Bucks, Milwaukee, Nets, and then the Heat as a contender, and everybody else is a pretender in your eyes?
Yeah, I think the Cavaliers are too young.
Contenders?
No, I think they're too young.
Oh, all right. Sounds good. You don't think the Hornets are contenders?
Yeah, the Hornets are contenders. Easily.
All right,
now, this is where the West gets interesting. I'm gonna tell you. Let's get it.
West gets fun. All right, here we go. I'm gonna run them off to you. The Denver Nuggets.
They stay healthy, they're contenders. But I can't book on their players staying healthy.
The Grizzlies.
Pretenders.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I'm rocking the Jaw jersey, but
you are right. Bro, that is disrespect, bro. You're rocking the Jaw jersey as you say that. The Pelicans.
Contenders, but they need Zion.
Mavs.
Pretenders.
Kings.
You know what's crazy about this King team? For the sake of this segment, I would have to go pretenders, but I can see a Sacramento Kings team making it to the Western Conference Finals.
No, you can't. No way.
I really could.
No way. All right. Clippers.
Man, they just got smoked yesterday. But I might have to call the Clippers pretenders because they haven't showed me anything. I really think they're a really, really good team, but I haven't. Kawhi Leonard doesn't look like Kawhi Leonard. So why do I think Kawhi Leonard's going to turn around the postseason hits? Why do I think that? He hasn't showed me anything.
Yeah, he's never shown us he can do that. I'm right there with you. He's never shown us that he can be the LeBron James type player where he just doesn't care about the regular season and then turns it up postseason. He hasn't shown us that. I'm right there with you. Pretenders. The Portland Trailblazers.
they, they're good. I honestly, they dealt with injuries. That's why their records like that. But if you get a Grant and Simon and Dame playing consistently like that, healthy, but Gary Payton just came back too.
Still pretenders.
Nah, bro. I got pretenders.
You got pretenders. Okay. Phoenix Suns,
Pretenders.
Golden State Warriors,
Pretenders.
Utah Jazz,
Pretenders.
Minnesota Timberwolves,
Pretenders.
Lakers.
Just for the sake that Russell Westbrook's on his team, contenders.
Ah, I love it. OKC,
I love them. Pretenders.
Rockets, and the Spurs.
Pretenders.
All right. All right. All right. Look. Let me go. Let me go ahead and run off from the top. I definitely got the Nuggets as contenders. I love that caveat that you threw about them being healthy because they are a team that has really struggled to be healthy this season. But Memphis Grizzlies, man, the thing is, I honestly, so when you said pretenders at first, I was like, wow. But then I thought about it, like, okay, well, what's my definition of a contender? You can they're contenders. They can make a Western Conference Finals, bro. I thought to myself, like, nah, they can't make it but they've made it in the past or have gotten very close to making it, and they were younger, dumber, but they did have DeAnthony Melton. That they are missing a lot this season. But I guess I went a little bit back and forth there, but I could say Nuggets and Grizzlies are both contenders to me. Pelicans, they are contenders. They could definitely make it out the West. Dallas Mavericks, pretenders. You can win with just one player, especially when in the offseason you just let go your second best player who basically helped your guy get there. And I'll say this, man, if the Mavs don't hurry up and pick it up, I'm saying pick up somebody, figure something out. They might mess around and lose Luka. They might mess around and lose Luka because the NBA players, they're not about I'm staying and I'm gonna try to win a championship. Like, nah, I'm trying to win and keep up my legacy. As a matter of fact, hold on, this is a little sidebar. I gotta throw this in. Yesterday, I'm watching the Mavs game. The Mavs absolutely suck without Luka Doncic. They suck so bad without Luka Doncic that. And the fourth quarter yesterday, it was the fourth quarter, 7 minutes left. They had 65 points because Luka was having an off night. That can't be happening. And Christian Wood and Spencer Dinwiddie's inconsistencies and their inability to be consistent and be the player who they're supposed to be is literally killing Luka Doncic's legacy. Can you imagine if Spencer Dinwiddie and Christian Wood became the players they're supposed to be? Christian Wood's supposed to be a pick and roll big who can pick and pop, who can pick and shoot, who can pick and roll. And Spencer Dinwiddie's supposed to be that Jalen Brunson, that 1A, 1B scorer. But because none of those guys can do that, the Mavs can struggle to hit their full potential. So Luka's career, legacy is going down. So I feel bad for Luka. That was a little sidebar. Sorry about that. Sacramento Kings, pretenders. I feel the same way about the Kings that I feel about the Pacers. No matter how good they do in the regular season, they'll never be a real postseason threat, in my opinion. Clippers, like how we said, bro, you need to seeing is believing, and I ain't seen anything. So the Clippers are pretenders. Portland Trailblazers, pretenders. Suns, contenders. I just, as much as I love to hate on them, and they're the most hateable team in the league, the Suns have been getting to the finals the past couple of years. The Warriors, contenders. I have to give it to them. They freaking on reigning champions last year. Utah Jazz, bro. I'm glad people calm down about the Utah Jazz. Let's realize that they are a bottom feeder team. They have good players in Lauri Markkanen, who's going to be an all-star this year, and Jordan Clarkson. But let's calm down, everyone. The Jazz are where they should be. The Minnesota Timberwolves, they were contenders, but then they pulled off that dumb Rudy Gobert trade. The Lakers, man, this hurts my heart, man. But I got to be honest, man. Look, if you have LeBron and Anthony Davis, you at least have a shot for a title. But you talked about the importance of role players earlier. The Lakers don't got him. The Lakers just don't got him.
I just realized 0-7 in their division.
That's embarrassing. That's honestly embarrassing. The Lakers need to get it together. OKC and Spurs and Rockets, all pretenders to me. So I think the West has got a lot more contenders, right?
Yeah, they do. But the East is this weak. West is weak too, but they definitely do got more teams that are more competitive that can actually give someone the work more than the Eastern Conference. Eastern Conference, we're just ready to simulate to the Eastern Conference Finals because no one cares about the first or second round. Let's be honest.
Man,
We're gonna be watching the Celtics versus the Bulls. Like no one cares. We already was gonna get swept.
Celtics versus Bulls. That'll be a hard Eastern Conference Finals to watch. Celtics versus Bulls. That'll be probably one of the worst if we see
That'd be
that.
terrible.
Man, but all right, my boy. I think it's a good place for us to go ahead and wrap up that contenders versus pretender segment. That was a great, fun segment. Hope that everyone out there enjoy that. And if you're at home, hope you played along. Hope you let us know, in the comment section down below who's a contender, who's a pretender. Let me know. Am I tripping? Is Trent tripping? And yeah, man, go ahead and get at us. But let's go ahead and get to the last segment of the show here. This is This is a very fun segment. So let's go ahead and get into this overrated and underrated segment. Let's do it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, my boy. Self-explanatory, underrated, overrated. I got 15 players right here listed off for you. And after that, you go ahead and you list off 15 players for me. You let me know underrated, overrated. We can talk about them after or not, whatever. All right, I'm gonna run it off for you first. You ready?
Let's get it.
All right, let's get it. Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson, underrated.
Zach LaVine.
Overrated.
Scotty Barnes.
Overrated.
Grayson Allen.
For the sake, I guess, underrated. But, dude, I can't stand Grayson Allen. Grayson Allen is just annoying.
He's just an annoying person to look at. Huh? He's like
Yeah.
a punchable face. That's what I'm
Easily.
All right, Bam Adebayo.
I'm underrated.
Underrated. Okay, I like it. I was about to say Bam over Anthony Edwards.
Overrated.
Overrated. Wow. All right. We'll talk about that one. We will talk about that one. MPJ.
Overrated.
That's great. Klay Thompson.
Overrated.
Pablo Banchero.
Underrated.
I like that. Terrence Mann.
Overrated.
Thank you. Triple J.
Overrated.
Overrated. Ooh. Bull.
Underrated.
There. Thank you. Malcolm Brogdon.
Underrated.
Thomas Bryant.
Underrated.
Jordan Clarkson.
Overrated.
Last player. You ready?
Yep.
Russell Westbrook.
Yo, guys, y'all know, I'm the biggest Russell Westbrook fan out here. I don't really know how to judge this one because his role, he's underrated. The role he plays this season, he's underrated. As a starter, overrated.
I like that. So, that's actually a great breakdown on that, my boy. That is a great breakdown. Okay, so you want to get into some of these first, or you want to go ahead and run off yours?
Yeah. So Anthony Edwards. The reason why I think Anthony Edwards is overrated, and I'm probably gonna get hate for this, but it is what it is. This is what comes with it. You have bad takes and you have good takes. Anthony Edwards to me hasn't been that player where the Timberwolves are confident to build with him. They're like, trade everybody and we want to build with him. I don't think they're confident just yet. Karl-Anthony Towns called him out. Like, he's eating bad food, McDonald's, like stuff like that. Which it's not bad, but like you need to be in shape to run back to backs. And he said one of his main problems is that the first game you dropped 30, but the next game you dropped 10, 15. As a franchise player that the Timberwolves are relying on, you can't let that happen. It's just unacceptable. And I feel like he has a little bit too much of that. I think he has the talent. I think he has everything you need into a franchise player, but he just needs to be a little bit more consistent. For this sake, I believe he's just overrated. Until he carries his team to win that first round matchup, that first round series, I would say underrated. But right now, overrated. He's the guy they're leading on. It's not Karl-Anthony Towns. It's Anthony Edwards. And can you see Anthony Edwards carrying this team?
I mean, they won a playoff series last year.
No, he didn't.
They came out the first round. Remember Patrick Beverley and them were going berserk and they were all happy.
No, That was to get
Oh,
into
that
the
was in
play.
the play, and you are right. You're right. You're right. That's on me. That is the play.
They played the Grizzlies.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And they lost. You're right. You're actually right.
Yes.
Man, that is a valid point. That is a valid point. Once he gets to the point where he can carry his team to a postseason win, maybe I'll give him that. And then look, talk to me.
And don't say, "Oh, can Ja do it?" This and that. He has. He has.
He has done it. Yeah, no, facts.
Exactly. Zion, he hasn't because he's injured, but I'm pretty sure he will. He will.
Ja's on another level. Ja's on another level than Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is not there yet.
So, like, don't say, "Oh, has these young players have done it?" Because you want to talk about Tyler Hero? They have.
He's done it. He's done it.
So Anthony Edwards, show me that, and then he'll be underrated.
You know what? Hey, real quick, just a thought that came to my mind. Do you remember when Tyler Hero said, like, "Oh, I want to be thoughts in the likes of like the Lucas and the John Morants"? Remember when he said that? It's funny that he said that because, I mean, out of all those guys, he's technically in that group as far as winners, as far as who has been there, right? Luka been to the Western Conference Final. Ja has been deep. Tyler Hero not as tough as the West, but he's in the Eastern Conference and made it to the finals, made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. So Tyler Hero, you might have just achieved, you might have manifested it, man. You might have spoken into existence.
He's been in those moments already.
Been that guy. Tyler Hero. All right. What did you say about Zach LaVine? You say overrated or underrated?
Overrated. Easily.
Overrated. Okay. Why you think he's just a Devin Booker ass scorer? He's just scores for no reason.
I feel like no. I mean, he got paid and like
he did.
He hasn't really been great, to be honest with you. And you know the truth, the reality of what I think it is, they're relying on DeMar DeRozan. They're not relying on, obviously they want to rely on Zach LaVine, but they look at DeMar DeRozan as a closer, the finisher, and he needs all the shots. And DeMar DeRozan's like, I'm doing it.
I'm trying.
Yeah. You know, so DeMar DeRozan's like overshadowing Zach LaVine. If you notice, right, Zach LaVine during the playoffs against Milwaukee played horrible. I give him it. He was dealing with an injury, wasn't 100%. But like I said, no one's 100% in the playoffs. No one is. You got to get through and you got to knock your shots down. And his field goal percentage against the Milwaukee Bucks was absolutely horrible. The whole series, he played extremely bad. Then he gets paid this offseason, comes back, and still playing very mediocre. His numbers are going to look good if you look at the stats and you this and that. But if you watch Zach LaVine play, and then he's not a team player. What happened was his role changed. And obviously going to be frustrated because when you're a competitive player, you want to be that guy. But he's having problems with the locker, like the locker room is looking at him like, huh? Like they're looking at him iffy. Like there's just so much stuff that's going on with Chicago. And like, I honestly don't even see Zach LaVine staying there. I mean, it has nothing to do with the point, but I honestly don't really see him staying there and stuff like that. He's not going to LA. Let's relax. I don't have enough money. But like, he's just overrated to me. I don't think the thing is, right, Zach LaVine, I don't even think he could be a 1A player to a championship team. Could he be a 1?
No, not a 1A. Not a 1A. No, not a 1A. I thought you said you don't think he could be a 1B. He could for sure be a 1B, but he cannot be the number one guy leading his team to the championship.
But the thing is, he's a 1B right now.
But this team is poorly constructed.
It is.
Okay? This team is poor. I think, I think if you add, this is going to sound crazy, but if you add a player, of course, Karl-Anthony Towns to any team makes him a lot better, but a player just of that caliber as that big instead of freaking Nikola Vucevic for him to handle all these freaking Giannis bigs and Rick Lopez bigs. If you add a player like that, or if Andre Drummond can be what he's supposed to be, I think this Bulls team is a championship squad. They have it healthy. They have it. Billy Donovan is a huge problem, but roster, they got it.
But you got to realize too, I dealt with Billy Donovan my whole OKC time, and he doesn't do well with talent.
He's not an X's and O's coach. He don't know what to do. He just played DeMar and Zach.
Like he had Harden, Russ, KD. He doesn't know what to do. And so in this situation, like you said on paper, if you get Alonzo Ball back, it's healthy. You got Caruso, Javonte Green, Vooch. We all if the Vooch played how Vooch played in Orlando, that would play a huge difference.
Double monster.
Exact, knocking shots down, man. DeMar DeRozan's playing DeMar DeRozan. Zach LaVine up and down, you know. So yeah, I just think he's overrated.
Man, all right. I definitely like that take. Yeah, Zach Levine he's low key walking the line of Bradley Beal overrated. You know, like one of
Yeah.
those. You know, he could put the ball in the basket, but he might not be bringing you many dubs. So the last thing that I just want to touch on from what you were talking about is one of the players I asked you Malcolm Brogdon, and you said underrated, and I love that you said that. And honestly, man, like I want to take some time real quick and quick part of this episode before I run off my underrated, overrated, just to give him his flowers, man. Because Malcolm Brogdon has been an elite guard ever since he's came into the league, man. Ever since he came to the league, has been an elite two-way guard who can really be a point guard, really run your team. The man is you don't hear about him getting in trouble off court. He's always doing what's right. But what I want to highlight is the fact that how much he sacrificed. I mean, before he came to Boston, he was in Indiana, that guy. His first year in Indiana, 16 points, but he didn't really play that much. 7 assists. Second year in Indiana, 21 points per game, 6 assists. Third year in Indiana, 19 points per game. So he's always been a high volume scorer, getting to the basket, being that guy. Now he's gone to the Boston Celtics, and I haven't heard a single complaint from this guy. I haven't heard a single, oh, I want to start. Oh, I want to do this. Oh, I need my minutes. And no. No, he hasn't started a single game this season. He's been extremely solid. His numbers have took a drastic hit from his 19 and 21 points that he was averaging those last 2 years. Now he's averaging 13 points from his assists. Now he's only averaging 4 assists per game. And again, has not started one game. Last season, played 36 games, started all 36. The year before, played 56, started all 56. Year before, played 54. He played 64, started all 64. This year has not started a single game. Yet we haven't heard a peep from him. That is called sacrifice. That is called a man who knows what it takes to win. So I just wanted to give him his flowers, man. I heard some disrespect being thrown on his name the other day. I heard some disrespect saying Malcolm Brogdon is not the same. Yeah, he's not the same because he's not asked to do the same things, but he can still do it. So I just wanted to give some respect and some praise on him.
No, sure. I think that's the problem with these people nowadays. They expect them to do certain things that they're not asked to do anymore.
Not asked to do it. Why would he do it?
When you're on the Pacers, okay, makes sense. But you got Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum. It's like, I'm gonna just facilitate off the bench and give me some buckets. Okay,
man. Simple as
and
that.
I'm on a championship team.
Simple as that. Simple as that.
Okay, but so now I'm gonna ask John, overrated, underrated, and I got 15 players listed down. So I kind of went with a lot of more role players. I do got some players that you have, but it's interesting to see what's your list. Starting off with LaMelo Ball,
Overrated.
Harrison Barnes,
Underrated.
Scotty Barnes,
Underrated.
Patrick Beverly,
Overrated.
Sadiq Bey,
Underrated.
Bobo,
Underrated.
KCP,
Overrated.
Clint Capella,
Underrated.
Javon Carter or Javon Carter.
Overrated.
Overrated from the Bucks?
We talking about the ball-headed dude from the Bucks.
Okay. Brandon Clark.
Underrated.
Jordan Clarkson.
Overrated.
John Collins.
Overrated.
Mike Conley.
Underrated.
Robert Covington.
Overrated.
Jay Crowder.
Overrated.
All right. So the first name that I said was LaMelo Ball. And it's funny because I've been saying LaMelo Ball in my last 2 TikTok videos, and it's hilarious. I've been saying this. I've been saying he's overrated. I've been saying he's overrated for a long, long time. And those videos that I say he's overrated, they get 1 million+ views, which is very, very interesting on TikTok. And I look at the comments, and they're all hate comments. They're all hate comments that I don't know what I'm talking about. LaMelo Ball is good, this and that. And if y'all watching this, yeah, this is top notch. Yeah, y'all see me because I don't show my face on there. But I want to say something. LaMelo Ball has empty numbers. When it matters the most, what has he done for the Charlotte Hornets organization?
Disappeared. Twice.
Nothing.
Twice in a row.
Nothing. Those are playoff games where you had the chance to get into the playoffs, the real playoffs, but those are still playoff games. Those are very important. And he has choked. You drafted him with the number 3 pick. Number 3 pick. Meaning he's supposed to be your franchise guy. Meaning he's supposed to take you over the top. And what has he done so far? Absolutely nothing. I literally watched LaMelo Ball play the other day. He just jack shots up. It's looking like he's back when he was his dad, LeVar, and so he literally just jack shots up. And the reason why his numbers look all right, look good to y'all, look at Kelly Oubre's numbers. He's averaging 20 plus points. You know why he's averaging 20 plus points? Name 5 players besides the starting lineup, even if you can get that on that team. You can't. So I can hop on the Charlotte Hornets and average 20 plus points, 10 assists, and 3 rebounds because there's nobody on the team but him. You lost Miles Bridges. Gordon Hayward can't make layups anymore. Like, this team is really, really bad. Put LaMelo on a Golden State team. Put LaMelo on any team that gets television. People are going to realize that he's overrated. The problem is, y'all are just box watchers. Y'all see the stats because no one watches Charlotte, so you just see the stats. Mm-hmm. Oh, 23 points, 11 assists, and 5 rebounds? How is he overrated? No, watch him play. Watch him on a live television TV. You realize this kid is overrated. And that's that. I have nothing else to say. If you think he's underrated still, you just don't know basketball.
You're
just
casual.
Don't speak to him. You're casual and just do not speak to him. But so you had a few on here that, what did you say again for Scotty Barnes?
I said Scotty Barnes is underrated.
Which I think is very interesting. I honestly think he's overrated. He's been horrible.
He has been horrible this season. But I think that also the way that the Raptors as a whole has been playing this season has just been honest. I just feel like there's an aura that's just hanging over their head, man, that they just can't they just can't get over it, man. And I think that Scotty Barnes particularly hasn't been all that he's supposed to be, but he hasn't been the reason the Raptors are doing this, man. I mean, look at his last couple of games. Almost every game, double machine, 19, 23, 17, 14, every single game, almost putting up a double. So I don't think he could be the reason that we pinpoint the Raptors.
I don't think he's the reason, but he's part of the reason. And you know why I want to tell you he's part of the reason why this team's struggling? How do you come back from playing a really solid season to expecting you to improve? I was on his Twitch chat. He had 200 viewers, 300 viewers. He wanted to average 20 plus points a game this season. And he thinks he could. Yeah, it's in the chat. He's in Twitch chat. He's in the chat asking questions, and he wanted to average like 20 plus points. I think he honestly said higher, but I'm just being a little nice to him. But the Toronto Raptors organization's like looking at him like, okay, what's going on? Because you went down. You didn't go up. He did not improve this season. And it can change, but he has not improved this season. So when the talk said he's untouchable, are we sure about he's untouchable now?
Toronto, I mean, it depends for who. It depends for who. Do you remember? Do you remember when the KD? Hold on, but remember when the KD's talk? The KD talks around, and he could have maybe went over there.
I'm trading him.
Yeah, or KD. Yeah, but let's be careful who we're talking to, who we're talking about, because if you name off another player, like I'm not trading him for Tyler Hero. I'm not trading him for.
Tyler Hero is 10 times better than Scotty Barnes.
You're taking Tyler Hero over Scotty Barnes?
Any day.
That's crazy. No way.
Yo, have you realized Scotty Barnes has begun the Ben Simmons treatment?
He's been getting from the 3-point line, from as far as getting guarded.
No, from the field, bro. From the field, bro. Yo, literally,
he's shooting 45% from the field.
But once again, John, stop being a box watcher, bro. You're being a box watcher right now, bro. I'm telling you, bro. They do not respect his shots at all. And also, I do want to say this, right? He's scared to shoot. It looks like he's scared to shoot. Yo, I literally see him take a mid-range, right? Wide open mid-range, John. He skimmed the rim. He literally skimmed it. I said, if you're going to miss. Don't skim it.
Look, man, I don't know. I don't know if I'll do this. Look, I'll agree with you. He's not an untouchable, but we need a lot of conversation. And this player that I'm trading him for better help me win a championship now. But so then let me ask you that: if you're Masai Ujiri, do you do it?
Tyler
Trade him?
Hero? Oh,
Yeah,
Scotty Barnes.
yeah, for Tyler Hero, Scotty Barnes, Tyler Hero.
No. Right now, the Toronto Raptors are in a weird position. That's the problem because they don't know if they're gonna make the playoffs or they don't know if they're a rebuilding team. And the problem is with that is because they got players that are really good. Fred VanVleet, the reason why they're struggling is because Fred VanVleet has played horrible this year, but he's a champion. You expect him to at least play a little better. You still got Pascal, you still got OG and Anunoby. So when you have those three players on your team, you still expect to compete in the Eastern Conference, and currently they're not. And so that's why I say they're in a weird position. So if they go in rebuild mode, and teams are going to offer me 2 to 3 first round picks for Scotty Barnes, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm 100% doing it. But I have to get a player in return also with that. And I think 2 to 3 is a little bit too much, to be honest with you. I think we're making Scotty Barnes' value a little bit too high. But if I get 2 first round picks and a player in return for Scotty Barnes, I'm 100% doing it. Now, it depends who the player is, like you said. But yeah, they're just in a weird position. So I don't know where they go. If they make the playoffs, they make the playoffs. But I honestly don't think the smartest thing for them to do is to make the playoffs.
You think a smart thing for them is for go for Vic? Tank can go for Vic.
I think you go for Vic and you trade away OG, or you got to trade away. I feel like they got too much similar players.
They have a bunch of 6'9" guards.
Yeah, OG, Pascal, and Boucher and Scotty are very similar in ways. Actually. So when you have that on your team, it's hard. You don't got different stuff to help the other players generate.
Otto too. Otto Porter's the same thing too. Yeah, man. Man. Yeah. I mean, the Raptors is a tough one, man. That can go both ways. And for the family out there, let us know. Let us know. Scotty Barnes overrated, Scotty Barnes underrated. Like, let us know how y'all feeling about that. But man, honestly, I'm looking at this Raptors squad, like, and yeah, they better do something, bro, because they got squad for real. You know what I'm saying? With Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet, OG Anunoby, Gary Trent Jr., Otto Porter. If anything, please trade some of these guys to contenders and let these guys be role players.
And say if they do want to make the playoffs, right? I think you start off with Gary Trent. I like to see where you get off Gary Trent, see off that, right? Because his contract is coming to an end sooner. And then you try to see what you can get OG. I don't think you trade OG, but see what you can get off OG. Because OG, a lot of players would love, a lot of teams would love that OG.
Do you trade Pascal? If you're really trying to lean into the tank, he's 28.
Yeah.
If you're really trying to lean into the tank, you trade Pascal. And you get a gang of picks.
Because look at the Spurs. Did we really expect them to trade Murray?
No.
Yeah. So.
I also didn't expect them to trade Lonnie Walker, which was a blessing.
Well, I mean, they let him walk.
They let him walk. Yeah. Man, Raptors are in a tough situation. Shout out Canada. Shout out the Six. Hopefully they figure something out. But all right, my boy. That was a fun overrated or underrated segment. That brings the show to the end. Do you have any last things that you want to touch on, my boy? It is January 6th. Touch on anything, news, anything like that.
Like I said, man, that was a jam-packed episode, man. Super, super fun. I had fun. Hope y'all had fun too. If y'all not doing anything, just put the headphones in the ear, walk around, go take a walk, go take a jog, whatever. Just listen to what we got to say, man, because we be spitting the truth. But follow the socials, and yeah, y'all have a great night. Enjoy y'all weekend, and we appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir, man. Trent said it all, man. Make sure you follow the socials for my people on the podcast. Make sure you go on your social media and look up Clutch Talk Pod. And like Trent said in the beginning, stay tuned for the videos, the streams, the everything, man. We come in 2023, a whole different year, man. So that's it. We out here, y'all. Clutch Talk out.